For 14 years, we spent 2 weeks of every year working with John Cage, a composer of music, visual artist, and writer. Most of his projects were finished in a single work period, but in the late 70s and early 80s there were 3 series that took years to complete.
In Changes and Disappearances, it began to be very clear that it was going to be very tough. And we were always used to finishing a project in 2 weeks, and in the end it took 2 years, 3 visits.
See, every plate we do has more images, so that makes more colors. I bet we could easily get up to 200 colors.
The last print was 299 color mixtures on a single print.
All Cage's projects with us, and I understand also his music and writing pieces, would begin in the same way.
This goes from the smallest possible to the largest possible, with anywhere.
He asked the printers to try out variations, and he drew marks with as many different tools and approaches as he could think of. He would set up an idea and then do tests to see how many ways it could be explored.
Then we want to know where it gets old. It's like the flexibility of youth and then on into the inflexibility of old age.
After he had settled on the work structure, he would subject all the parts to chance operations. Sometimes this was as simple as changing his body position as he worked. Sometimes it involved using unpredictable templates like stones or uncontrollable material like fire. He defined most of his marks, however, by using chance-derived numbers. He would use these numbers to determine the position of a line, or how long it should be, or what color to ink it in.
People tended to think of it as being kind of a haphazard way of operating, but it was just the opposite.
It seemed to me that to be able to engrave required a certain calmness, and it's that calmness that I've been one way or another approaching in my music and writing and so forth. And then it became physical, you see, with the engraving tool.
It really changed our lives working with him. We take months for the afterglow to kind of diminish. And in between there were a lot of very funny moments when we tried to grasp what he was going to be asking us to do. And there's one moment when he was telling us, I remember, that what he wanted was to know how to get nothing.
Takata, can you tell from this table now what will produce nothing?
This is the line, and below this, it doesn't do anything. Below means
You think 96 and 45 together make automatically nothing?
nothing. Automatically.
I didn't want to have an image that would separate itself from the paper. And the paper, of course, begins by being smoked. So I wanted to have an ambiguity between the smoke and the images. And I'm certainly getting it. I was afraid at the beginning that some of the marks were going to be too strong. But as we continue printing, even the strong marks begin to lose anything that you could compare with impact.